friends, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a great day today. It is Thursday, March 25th. We are flying through this month. Let's look at our calendar. I've got our little kitten calendar right here. Let's find the 25th. Here we go. Last full week. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Right down here, we've got the 25th. So it is Thursday. We see the abbreviation for Thursday. It's Thursday the 25th. And at the very bottom, it says March 2021. Well, we've got two great books to look at today, but I wanted to say real fast, we won't be meeting tomorrow. Okay, here is our first book. It's called Spring is Here. And it feels like spring is here, doesn't it? Let's look at this. Beautiful pictures. Wow, I love the illustrations. Mole woke up. So there's Mole right there, and he just woke up. Maybe from winter hibernation. Is it spring, he wondered? He opened the window to smell the air. Sniff, sniff, sniff. He dressed. So there's Mole waking up, and he says, is it spring? He's sniffing the air to find out. He dressed and tiptoed past Bear's room. Oh, I wonder if Bear's hibernating still. And stepped outside. He felt mud under his feet. Squish, squish, squish. Yeah, it's very muddy out there right now, isn't it? Spring is here, cried Mole. I must tell Bear. Mole rapped on Bear's window. Tap, tap, tap. Snore, replied Bear. It looks like Bear is still asleep right there. Yeah, Bear's still hibernating. Mole dashed inside and knocked on Bear's door. Knock, knock, knock. Snore, replied Bear. Oh, Bear is still asleep. Mole tickled Bear's nose. Swish, swish, swish. Snore, replied Bear. Mole played his horn for Bear. Toot, toot, toot. Snore, replied Bear. Oh my goodness, Bear is tired, huh? Oh dear, sighed Mole. Spring is here and Bear must get up. Mole thought, and then he scampered outside. So he scampered outside. Let's find out what happens. He gathered, he milked, and he churned. So he's gathering eggs right there. He's milking the cow right there, and then he's churning butter. He poured, so he's pouring it right there. He mixed and he baked. So he's mixing and baking. Oh, I wonder what he's making. Finally, he shuffled into Bear's room. Wake up, Bear, mumbled Mole. Spring is here. Ooh, look at the meal that he's made for Bear. That looks delicious. Yum, replied Bear. Then he looked at Mole. Wake up, Mole, said Bear. Spring is here. Mole's been awake all along. That's silly. Snore, replied Mole. Oh, Mole fell asleep from all the work. That's a great book. That is called Spring is Here. And I've got another book. This is called Rainy Morning, or Rain Morning. Yeah, Rainy Morning. Let's look at this. Mr. and Miss Submarine were sitting at the kitchen table on a rainy morning. Would you like another breakfast, dear? Miss Submarine asked. I've had 2 breakfasts already, Mr. Submarine said, but it is raining very hard. I will have 1 more breakfast, please, but just a small one. Just a small one. Oh, look, Miss Submarine said, the cat is sitting at the window. The poor thing is all wet. I will let him in. So they're going to let the cat in because it's raining outside. Miss Submarine opened the door and the cat walked in, dripping wet. The cat sat near the stove and Miss Submarine gave him a corn muffin. Ooh, that sounds good. I hear the dog scratching at the door, Mr. Submarine said. I will let him come in and get warm. So there's the dog right there. Mr. Submarine opened the door and the dog walked in, dripping wet. Miss Submarine gave the dog a corn muffin and he took it to the corner to eat. So the dog got a corn muffin too. Yummy. It is certainly wet outside, Miss Submarine said. It certainly is, Mr. Submarine said. Look at the poor horse. It is soaked through. Poor horse, said Miss Submarine. He doesn't look very happy, Mr. Submarine said. Oh, look at the horse out the window there in the rain. Shall we let him come in, Miss Submarine asked. Just this once, Mr. Submarine said. I will make more muffins, Miss Submarine said. Mr. Submarine opened the door and whistled to the horse. The horse walked in, dripping wet. I've just baked more muffins, Miss Submarine told the horse. Ooh, it looks like the horse wants one of those corn muffins. There are crows in the tree, Mr. Submarine said. Are they wet? They don't look happy, Mr. Submarine said. Crows love corn muffins. I'm going to let them in. Mr. Submarine opened the door and the crows walked in, dripping wet. They sat on the backs of the chair and ate the corn muffins Miss Submarine gave them. Ooh, yummy, yummy. It is certainly coming down out there, Mr. Submarine said. It's an awful morning, Miss Submarine said. Would you like honey in your tea? I would. Do you know what I see outside in the rain? What? A wild coyote, as I live and breathe. Is it wet? Oh, very wet, Mr. Submarine said. Do you oppose if I would let it come in? Well, no, but you'd better tempt it with a piece of corn muffin, Miss Submarine said. It might be shy. Ooh, look at it right there out the window. We see the coyote. Mr. Submarine opened the door and showed the wild coyote a piece of corn muffin. The coyote walked right in, dripping wet, and went to lie down under the sink. When I was letting the coyote in, do you know what I saw? Mr. Submarine asked. Something wet? Yes, chickens from across the street. Poor things, Miss Submarine said. Better let them in. I will make more muffins. Wow, so now the chickens are there. The chickens walked in dripping wet. They huddled in the corner as far away as they could get from the coyote. Yeah, to be safe. I'm going to bring in the car, Mr. Submarine said. All right, dear, be careful not to run over the chickens. Mr. Submarine drove the car in, dripping wet. I can give it a good wiping down with towels while we wait for it to stop raining. Mr. Submarine busily dried off the car while the cat, the dog, the horse, the crows, the coyote, and the chickens nibbled corn muffins and got warm and dry. Ooh, yummy. This is looking like a very full house. There's something outside. It's a wildebeest. I'll let it in, Mr. Submarine said. The wildebeest walked in, dripping wet. I'm mixing up more corn muffins right as we speak. Mr. Submarine looked out the window. Now that's unusual, he says. It looks like Ludwig van Beethoven is in our yard soaking wet. Oh, invite him in, Mr. Submarine said. He is my favorite composer. Oh, how silly. Mr. Submarine pulled on his raincoat and went outside. He came back in with Mr. Beethoven by the hand. Mr. Submarine welcomed him inside and said, corn muffins? Beethoven got a couple of corn muffins and moved to the back of another chair and sat down at the kitchen table. Wow, look how full it is inside now. Terrible weather this morning, Mr. Submarine said. Mr. Beethoven agreed. Ludwig van Beethoven and Mr. Submarine looked out the window at the rain. Mr. Beethoven said, is that the United States Marine Band standing in our yard? Oh, wow. So there's the Marine Band there too. I'm glad we brought 450 pounds of muffin mix, Miss Submarine said. Ask them to come in. So now they're going to come in. The United States Marine Band walked in, dripping wet. The bandsman shook hands with Mr. Ludwig van Beethoven and petted the horse. Corn muffins coming up in just a minute, Miss Submarine said. Ooh, yummy corn muffins for everybody. Dear, there is a circus in our yard, Mr. Submarine said. Oh no, we do not have enough room for a whole circus, Miss Submarine said. Oh, it's just a small European circus, Mr. Submarine said. Mostly tumblers and jugglers and clowns. The largest animal they have appears to be a small bear. No elephants? None that I can see, Mr. Submarine said. Well, that is different, of course, Miss Submarine said. They may come in. So the small European circus walked in, dripping wet. Oh, goodness. Mr. and Miss Submarine and all the animals and Ludwig van Beethoven and the United States Marine Band and the small European circus ate corn muffins and drank tea in the warm, cozy kitchen until the sun came back out. The end. That was a fun book. That was called Rainy Morning. Well, we won't be meeting tomorrow, but I'll see you again Monday. Have a great weekend, friends. Good to see you this morning.